Hi, Paul Hefty here with the Triangle-O Football System. I want to talk about how to simplify your pass game using 3 steps to transform your system. Number 1, we're going to use rule routes versus concept teaching. It simplifies everything for everyone, both the player and the play caller. Number 2, you're going to start with the RPOs as your foundation, and then we'll go to PROs, which means pass run options, and then to your pass game where the quarterback uses the same reads and we build off those RPO routes, so it gives us a consistent structure. Third is the communication, and we're going to use signals versus verbal. It just speeds things up, and research has shown people can learn, memorize, and process it faster. What you're going to do here is just transform your thinking. You're going to flip your approach. You're going to flip your teaching a little bit. It'll help you evolve, and it'll simplify everything. Last, we'll just look at offensive goals, principles, and terminology and recognition, so you can see how we do it with the system. So first, we want to look at rule routes versus concepts. What we're talking about is you're locked into a route, both from 2x2 or 3x1 sets, or variations in your formations or personnel groups. Why we're doing this, it's real simple. It helps you process and play and execute faster with rules. Something I learned from my receivers at the college level when we were doing this up-tempo, no huddle in the 90s and the early 2000s. And then when I went to coach in 9th grade, I found it to be real successful also. How you're going to do this is you'll teach everything from a 2x2 set first, because it's balanced and easy, and then you'll show how to run from 3x1 with a 3/1 rule, and then we can get into tags by just using an exchange rule. So number 1, redesign your pass plays to use rule routes. Number 2, we can apply the 3/1 rule for exceptions, plus when we get into tags. And then last, only one receiver now must learn the exception. In our system, we make that the H-back. Second, we want to go RPO to PRO to pass game. What we're talking about here is going to use your RPO route combinations as the foundation. Why we're doing this, players can easily execute those core routes with success at all levels. And then how we're going to do this is we'll just teach the RPOs first, then we'll layer or scaffold to PROs, which means quarterback will think pass first. We use alerts here. This basically replaces your quick game, and then you transfer those same routes and reads to your overall drop back pass game. So 1, we'll redesign the pass plays to use RPO as the foundation. Again, successful start. Number 2, we're going to use the same QB read key with a progression for both our RPOs, our PROs, and our pass game. And then third, you're going to use your PROs as your quick pass game. Plus, we can use split field concepts where we'll have the quarterback pre-snap pick man or zone sides so that we can simplify his read progression for him. Third, and maybe most important, is communication. What we're talking about is using hand signals for our pass route communications and tags. Why this is important, players can memorize, process, and communicate faster with sign language, and research supports that. So again, we can teach this at all levels. How we're going to do this, you just as a play caller and a coach need to teach signals right from the start, and you're going to use that in everything you do every day in practice. And then we can transfer those routes and those reads to our pass game. We'll still use our verbal play call for our line and our concepts. So 1, redesign your communication using route signals, successful start. Number 2, use the same route signals for all your pass game, RPO to your PRO to your pass, drop back pass. And then third, use verbal as still the pass theme or concept, and for the O-line to process their protection. It simplifies it. Less is more. So using the 3 steps we talked about, you can transform your pass game. How are you going to do this? You're just going to change your approach, and you're thinking offensively without giving up your current system. Just flip it, modify it to simplify, and think of it as innovation with tradition. Remember, number 1, throwing the football is fun for both the players and the staff. I like to use the analogy from basketball. Is it more fun to do shooting drills or rebounding drills? Number two, just flip your thinking to using rules with your routes and then a consistent read progression from RPO, PRO to your pass game. And then last, when you want to use unique concepts, use offensive packages. Third, incorporate new communication, meaning hand signals, and then practice it every day. So both you as a coach and the players train yourself to perform at a high level for success. So how we're going to do this, you want to teach consistent quarterback reads, and you want to empower them through decision making, through drills, and through your teaching and simplifying of your system. Last, it's important to have consistent principles and goals for your program. With the Triangle-O system, we start with numbers, and then we go to blocking angles to set up our alignment for success. We're an outside-in team, so we always look for a best edge. And then third, we want to go ahead and put speed in space. Our goals are to try to run the ball against everyone, but again, numbers will dictate that at times. Obviously, number two, no turnovers. And then in modern day football, we want to create opportunities for big plays. And that's what having a consistent RPO, PRO, and pass game system does for you. Next, I think it's important to have consistent defensive terminology and position recognition. So we like to talk about the strong side is where we are going, where the play is called. So if you look at the diagram here, we're going to the right or the upper part of the picture, and then we would call the field corner or play side corner the cat, the ox is the onside safety, and then the Sam is a strong backer, obviously, Mike in the middle, Will is weak. Dog becomes the backside corner or the weak side play, and the goat is the backside safety or weak side safety. Last, remember, one of the big advantages of no huddle is you get to do defensive recognition every time. We use a process called ANA, where we're looking at access or no access for our receivers. So again, we'll start up top with our deep safeties, one or two high, and then we'll look and see if that middle box is open or closed. We'll work down then to our outside hanging backers, which we call Mr. Zeros. In the diagram here, it's the Will and the Sam. Then we're going to go ahead and look at our receivers. Our slot receiver here to the bottom on the hash, our H-back, do we have access to throw them the ball or no access? This will determine, real simple, our run box numbers. You can see now we've got a three-step process to help you simplify your pass game, something that's been proven at the college all the way down to the youth and ninth grade level, and then using consistent principles, goals, and recognition so that everything you do is putting your players in a position to be successful. Thanks.